Hello everyone and welcome to OnAir and welcome to New England Airlines. Welcome to another hopefully short and we'll say hopefully uneventful flight. We don't actually know. Today we're going to be going from KCEF in Westover, Massachusetts to KSYR in Syracuse, New York. It is approximately 180 nautical miles. I've already kind of pre-made a flight plan for us in SimBrief. Exported it out so we can import it into MS2020. So we're going to go here. This is our direct route, which we're not doing, 167 miles. We're going to load a plan here. It's 183 miles. And we were 6,000 altitude. I don't want to start on the runway. We're going to start in one of the small parking spots. Live. Good. And we're going to get rocking and rolling here. And one piece I just forgot is I kind of have to do this hacky thing for now to get it working, but I can hook up my iPad into MS2020 here. So as soon as the plane loads in, it should stick us onto KCEF. You should see us here. But this is a kind of preview of the flight plan here. So from KCEF over to BAF, VOR, CTR, BOR, VOR as in Victor, down a Victor Airway all the way to SYR and into KSYR at the end of everything here. Doesn't appear to be, oh, I have to go to tracking here. External, do X-plane, even though it's not X-plane. I'm gonna go back to my maps. You can see this here. And one of my favorite features that we have this is should let me overlay our diagram here. Let's see if it lets me. Airport diagram. Doesn't? Weird. Oops. Edit procedures. Here. Departures. No waypoints. I wonder why it doesn't let me show. Usually I can overlay my airport diagram. It's interesting. Anyway, either way, get rid of that for now. We're going to go ready to fly. We're going to be starting golden dark here. Don't forget to start your tracking in OnAir. So go ahead and do that right now. Perfect, thank you very much, sir. So, first things first, we're going to be turning on our fuel tanks. Bada bing, bada boom, that looks good. Setting my, it says mixture in here, but it's not actually mixture. I believe it's the condition lever. Set our prop to full. And we're going to set our torque to, or our throttle to low idle. That's off, good. Turn on our master battery and our first avionics. And we're going to talk to tower here. We're going to see, and they are on 11835 for ground, first ATIS. What they got for weather today? Looks a little cloudy. Oh, is there no ATIS? 127.525? 127.52. Ooh. Is ATIS not working? 7.52. Okay, looks like ATIS is not working, so it's tune ground, I guess. Try this again. Yeah, nothing. Weird. Okay. Request our Ifr clearance. Oh boy. 6,000. 12535. Alright, let's set our 6,000 feet altitude. Read it back. Oh god. I don't know why it reads it out like that. And that should set our squawk automatically. There we go. Okay. And change our CDI real quick. So we're going to go to standby for now. We don't need that on until we're about to take it off. Alright, let's go through our startup procedure here. Beacon's on. Prop is clear enough. We're going to get our fuel boost pump to high. Oh. And set our starter to on.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Looks a little loud. Okay. Circuit avionics on here. Take a look at our torque and our ITTs. Start it off. Fuel button to normal. Careful not to over torque here. And what I'm doing is I'm actually just watching my middle monitor here. Looking at my torque, my ITTs, make sure it's not overheating. And looking at my prop RPM as well to make sure that's not going too high. These are all pretty reasonable. Go ahead and slow down our prop to feather here. Get our torque set to idle. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our taxi lights, and we're going to tune for a taxi. It's real slow today, huh? There we go. So, hold short runway using GC. Let's see what we are right now. So we're there. You know why I think my thing is messed up here? Edit. Oh, it's there. It's weird. I don't have any routes planned, so anyway. It looks like unless I plan the route inside my iPad, I won't be able to see my taxi diagram, but that's fine. Looking at the thing here, we essentially just see the cross runway 33 there, and this is runway 23, right down there. So, means we are cleared. Hello.
Hello.
Nice sweatshirt you got.
I was trying to be quiet because you're streaming.
What?
I was trying to be quiet because you're streaming.
That's okay. No one's watching, so that's fine. Wow, like a purple plane. That's cool. Alright, where are we now? Boom. Go to here. Procedure, airport diagram. There we go. So we are on the east ramp. So just gotta turn around. I believe head that way. Prop up a little bit. Gives us a little bit of juice. There we go. Taxi lights are on. Usually like to get in this view when I'm taxiing, just makes it a little bit simpler to see. Okay. And we're going to be crossing one-way 33 in front of us here. Okay. And that's coming up here. Slow down just a little bit. Strobes are going to go on. Clear left and clear right. So they look hard to clear. Yep. And what I like to do also, at least in this plane, is I turn on the wind option 3. And it looks like we got 2 knots, so not much. Altitude is set properly here. I wish the tracking worked. I might have to make the route inside FLT plan for that to work properly. Just seeing my plane, but just not the taxiway diagrams, unfortunately. Okay, and we're coming up on runway 23 now. Flip us around here. Those are our hold short lines. So it really doesn't like to slow down. Parking brake on. I'm just going to put down my first thing of flaps now. And we're going to tune tower and request takeoff.
Tower Cessna November 9er 216 Hotel ready for IFR departure runway 23.
Cessna November 9er 216 Hotel cleared for takeoff runway 23.
It's laggy over there. Yep, I'll have to fix that. Alright, so we are cleared. Full prop. Help if I let go of my parking brake. Not full prop, actually, it's 75%. We did indeed.
Cleared for takeoff runway 23 Cessna November 9er
Okay.
216 Hotel.
Rotates around 60, 75 knots. As soon as it starts coming up here. Ooh.
Airborne time logged.
Crap. Landing lights. Forgot about those. No taxi lights. Nav lights on. Beacon will keep on. We're gonna get in trouble for that, but that's okay. We're gonna keep on our runway heading just for a sec here.
Cessna 16 Hotel, contact Bradley departure on 125.35.
Alright, we're gonna contact Bradley departure.
125.35 Cessna Tree 1 Hotel.
And I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit here on my map.
Bradley departure Cessna November 4
Trim out.
1 Hotel is climbing through 1,000 feet for 6,000 feet.
Right now I'm probably at my max climb.
4831 Hotel Bradley departure. Continue to Bravo Alpha Foxtrot as planned.
Alright.
Altimeter tree 0.16.
3016. Good.
Cessna Tree 1 Hotel. Verify squawking 1504.
Oh, and we're gonna APR, we're gonna put on good 1504. Now it's on. Get us into the air. And we want to climb at about this plane about 800 feet per minute. Get over to our line there. A little hard of a turn here. But we're running really light, so it shouldn't be a problem. I think we have 71 pounds of organs, apparently, that we have to transport. So should get us lined up here. Push the nose down just a little bit. Till we're about, like I said, the 800 feet per minute mark. We're gonna climb for 6,000. And then we're gonna see if the autopilot tries to kill us today. So number one, I'm gonna put on a flight director. I'm gonna put a vertical speed mode on. So roll is on. Roll and pitch is on. Okay. Perfect. Trim out for the right here. Oh, overshot just a wee bit. And we're gonna go. Let's see. So it adjusted my trim, I believe. It did. So it's just gonna hold my roll and my pitch, which is fine. We're gonna let that get settled here. FLC mode on for 113. That should be fine. And this should get us up to our target altitude. So far, no trying to kill me yet, so that's good. And when we get to our target altitude, I'll put on nav mode, but we're still not quite there yet. So, actually, BAF was the waypoint we're going to, and it should be pretty much right below us. Yep. Okay, there's our altitude there. So our roll and our alt are at 6,000. And then lastly, we're going to turn on half bank mode. And then we're going to turn on nav mode. This is usually where it tries to kill me. So let's see. Send GPS altimeter for 6,000 feet. Trim looks pretty good. It's going to get us lined up to intercept our magenta line here. Other instructions yet, right? Nope, that looks good. Okay. Go back from this. Alright. And then when we hit this magenta, what we're looking for, at least for this plane, I believe what I set for a cruise profile, 1750 torque, around the same prop RPM. So as soon as we hit this magenta line, that's where we're going to adjust our throttle in our prop to. And I'm just going to do that conserve fuel, because as you can see right now, we're burning about 436 pounds per hour. The combined total of what is it, 1,400 pounds we have on our plane right now. Okay, so we are intercepting the line here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm adjusting my throttle, but just watch the torque and the prop RPM. So bring those both down a little bit here. Prop RPM to about 1750, it's perfect. And I'm going to continue to bring my throttle down, which is the leftmost handle, until I'm about the same amount of torque. Perfect, so we're about 1750, 60, somewhere around there. Looks pretty good. Probably just a little bit more. Beautiful. So that is going to be our cruise profile today. And it looks like we have some winds, about 30 knots from behind us, so a nice tailwind or crosswind, but it should be pushing us forward. We're on about 150 airspeed, puts us about 166 knots ground speed. About 4.7 nautical to go to our next waypoint, which is CTR. And let me just go here. And what I want to show is over on the iPad, it is kind of tracking the flight, and you can see where we are located. And actually what I could do as well, which I like sometimes to do, is I can toggle the breadcrumbs so we can see the path that I flew. It's going to make a little green line behind us here. And like I said, so we're going to go to the CTR waypoint, over to Stella, then all the way up to Syracuse from there. I'm just following that Victor Airway. Turn that off. It does look like we have some clouds above us. Oh. Sure thing. Move over to Boston Center.
132.655 Cessna Tree 1 Hotel.
Tune Boston Center. I'll see if they give me something different.
Center Cessna November 4831 Hotel 6,000 feet.
Cessna November 4831 Hotel Boston Center, continue to Stila as planned. Altimeter tree 0.12.
Wow, that guy's going super fast.
750 or tree 5 miles south. Descend and maintain 2,000 feet, expect ILS runway
So far so good with my plane not trying to kill me yet. It is getting a little bit cold though. We're just above icing temperatures, so we're gonna set our primary de-ice pump to normal. Keep it on airframe for now. You know what? We'll put on that heat as well, because I think that's what gets me a lot of times is the icing. It's 2 Celsius out, so it's just about freezing outside air temperature. So so laggy over there. Watching it. Oh, it adds bars too. Interesting.
Oh,
Because it's like the super wide. Interesting. Ugh. Yeah, laggy. To see why the stream's so laggy. I don't know why it's so choppy. I have it at 60. Could be because I'm mixing 144 hertz with 60 hertz monitor. I don't know. Winds are coming out of... Yeah, it's strange. It shows it coming out of the north. No, that's correct. Okay. So up near Syracuse, I do see some weather. I don't know if we're going to hit it on the radar, and again, I can show that here. Maybe just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. So this is our arrival airport, KSYR. And there's a little bit of weather that I can see there that keeps kind of popping over. Nothing on the way, but let's see, actually, it's a Canadian radar. Okay, so this is United States radar, so that makes more sense. So as soon as we turn to face it, we should be able to, and actually I think I can see it way in the distance down there. Starting to see that cloud cover that's probably talking about. It does not look pretty over there, so we'll see how that goes. But that's why we're flying our instruments today. Let us guide us in. I don't know if Syracuse or Syracuse Hancock International has any instrument approaches. I assume they do. Procedures. Here we go. Approaches, KSYR. Yeah, they have quite a few actually ILS or localizer approaches. So we'll see which one we get assigned to, and we can go ahead and pick that up. I'm not going to go ahead and pre-choose it yet though, so we'll just wait. So everything looks pretty good so far. About 362 pounds per hour, which is a pretty good fuel burn rate. It's about average for this. We're going about 150 knots. Now, since we just turned onto Syracuse, we're getting a 33 knot crosswind, so expect it to be a little bumpy, and it is. And it looks to be accurate as far as what the real weather is right now. Looking at the weather in an FLT plan, and it's going to be that way until pretty much we land. I'm assuming we're not going to come in on runway 15, but I don't actually know. Wow, that was a big gust of wind there. But at least it's not a headwind that's slowing us down, so. Oof. Jesus. I always just thought the interesting thing was when you want the plane to follow a GPS line straight, when there's a strong crosswind like this, the plane is actually turned into the wind a little bit because the wind ends up pushing you the opposite direction. So it's called crabbing. The plane actually has to crab to the left a little bit to continue its straight course, which I don't know how you're expected to know how to do that without autopilot or figuring out what the correct crab angle is. I'm sure there is a chart somewhere that shows this is the angle that you need to do to battle this type of crosswind, but luckily autopilot handles a lot of that for us. But yeah, but looking down what we're coming into, we can see some mountains, but it does not look very pretty down where we're going to be landing, so it should be fun. So now from Stella to Syracuse, we're looking at about 54 minutes, so what we can do is probably just use some time acceleration. Let's see if we can get down there a little bit quicker. Actually, while I'm waiting, I should try to figure out why this is being so choppy. Performance, video. Not quite sure. You see, to get our RPMs at 1700, we almost have to be in pretty much low idle with the throttle, which is interesting. Anything else from towers? Everything looks good there. Very good, very good. Right, and then while we're kind of cruising along here, thought I'd talk a little bit about, I'll show you a little bit of OnAir. I can't do too much. I'm going to actually pop this out into a different screen here. That's the actual tracking. But so OnAir has this capability, or this feature that you can make a virtual airline, which just means that you and some other people can kind of team up and do jobs together to make money. Unfortunately, because of a bug in it right now, if I go into VA operations while I'm doing a flight, it kind of breaks my tracking, so I don't currently want to do that. So we're going to hold off on that for now. But it's cool. You can actually have multiple people flying flights, generates income for the whole VA, and you can use that VA to buy airplanes, to pay rental fees, fuel, parking. You can buy FBOs or fixed-based operations at airports, so you can have presence, so you can sell fuel to other players, or maintenance and stuff. If you can put a workshop in there, so if a plane needs engine maintenance or engine replacement or airframe maintenance, all of that can be done by your FBO. You can set markup prices and stuff. It's pretty rudimentary right now, especially because there's no internal dispatching system, so certain roles in the VA can essentially pull jobs for everybody. And then anyone in the VA can fly those jobs, but trying to keep track of that right now is kind of a pain, at least in the client. So what most people end up doing, and what we ended up doing, was actually make a spreadsheet that keeps track of the jobs from within OnAir, who's flying which legs, in which aircraft, who's assigned to which aircraft, because you can rent aircraft on behalf of the VA and let your pilots fly them. So right now I'm using one of our rented caravans. It's a Cessna Caravan 208. We have a few King Airs. We have a CJ4, the jet. I like to fly the 208. It's a little bit slow, but I've gotten used to it. Either that or the G58, which is the Baron. It's a fun, multi-engine piston, whereas this is a single-engine turboprop. Both of them pretty fun to fly, pretty easy to fly. 208 has been giving me some issues with, like I said, autopilot trying to kill me. I don't know if it was the order that I was doing stuff in, like let flight director kind of level out first, then have pitch and roll on, and then engage autopilot, but I'm going to kind of see how it ends up behaving this flight. So far, so good though. Because usually when I enabled nav mode before, it would instantly just kind of dive bomb me into the ground. So actually, while we're waiting for this, what I could do, just to see if I can get the runway diagrams and stuff working, is I can go over to FLT plan, and I can see if we can't add the flight plan into that so we can load it up onto the iPad. So if I go to, hang on while I put all my passwords in. Log in here. So I'm going to show here, this is FLT plan. So this is the website that has the iPad app. So we're going to go ahead and make a new flight plan here. Leaving Sunday, it's IFR. We're going from KCEF to K Syracuse. I already have my tail number in here, which is the November 4831 Hotel. Create a flight plan. It may have the route that we're going already. It does not appear it does. So let's go to edit on my iPad. So it's BAF Victor 146. That was the auto routing. So let's type our own here. So BAF into Victor 146 into CTR to Victor 270 into Stella into Syracuse. You don't need to put the last one in here. I don't think I have to select too much else, to be honest. The altitude, we were going 6,000. Speed, where we go now? Guesstimate, but also, I mean, we're going now, so now we can see. But 153 knots. Our estimated time of departure was in the past. It doesn't really matter, so we can say, time is it now? I think it's in Zulu time, so it's 1652. So we can say 1700. Fuel, we had planned for that, but again, we can just kind of check what we have now and add a little bit. So it's at 1400. Oh, I think it's in hours though, so we're just gonna say 2 hours of fuel. That's one thing I don't like about this. 200. So one soul on board because we're just carrying organs essentially. I don't remember what we set as our here. I think KSYR. Did that pull my correct thing? So that's route map. Let's look at the route map here. Yeah, that looks correct. So flight level 60. Minus 2 knot winds, 153 knots. Fuel burn 604 pounds. Actually, it'd be most efficient at. Really? Flight level 4,000 or 600 pounds, but we'll leave that for now. Because right now we're going in from Stella into Syracuse. Yeah. Which is this one here. Fuel burn 28. Hour 15. We need 950 pounds minimum. Alright, so now that I have this here. Oh, that's us. Let's contact Boston Center.
134.3 for Cessna Trig 1 Hotel. Boston Center Cessna November 4831 Hotel 6,000 feet.
Should they give us any different instructions? Probably won't. 3003 this in. 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, 4, 3. There we go. Okay, so nothing's changed yet. We are getting to more mountainous area. But now that we went into FLT plan, and that's going to be this one. Oh, airport closures. Check NOTAM. So there was... Interesting that I didn't notice that the airport was closed. That's probably why there was no ATIS today. But now that that's there, let's go ahead and see if I can find this route here. There we go. The only thing it's missing is right before KSYR. Crap, what was before there? Was it just SYR? Yeah, it was. So that's fine. So now that that's there, still nothing for that, huh? Route. Edit. Go to departure airport. Okay, so that works now. Either way. I don't know if I'm actually going to be hitting that, so I guess we'll just assume when we get closer it's going to give us something here. Let this guy keep going. Still on altitude mode 6,000. Let's give us there. Very strong 46 knot crosswind. I don't know if we should be lower, but you can see it's actually pushing us way off track of our actual GPS line. And we're only going about 150 knots currently.
Boston Center, Sun Country 3017 is at flight level 210, descending 10,000 feet.
Right, and then what we're going to do here, so we're going to speed up time just a wee bit here. This is, I believe, 2x speed if I look down at my clock. Yeah. Things cruise along a little bit. Enjoy the nice views. Surely. Let's not get a copyright strike, that would suck. Okay. So at 2x speed we can see, obviously it's going twice fast, so these things cruise down. Still takes a little while, but okay. It's us. Roger that. Moving towers.
121.35 Cessna 31 Hotel.
Big crosswind here.
Boston Center, Cessna November 4831 Hotel 6,000 feet.
2999. Roger that.
Charging battery.
Okay.
133.25 Cessna 31 Hotel.
I feel like we just moved it, that's okay.
Generic Niner Sierra Whiskey, you are 73 miles southwest. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 12 approach.
Contact in Boston Center.
Boston Center, Cessna November 4831 Hotel 6,000 feet.
Cessna November 4831 Hotel
Wow,
Boston
those are
Center.
strong winds.
Altimeter 29er decimal 9er 7.
Alright, we're gonna get a continuous plant. How's this set up? Who we talk to? 52 knots crosswind now. Slowing us right down to 148 ground speed, so almost at the same ground speed as we are at airspeed just because of all that crosswind. And we haven't even hit the weather system yet, so let's see how that goes. It's really nice over here though. I usually don't like to spend too much time in accelerated time, but sometimes the 208 is just really slow, and obviously when you're on autopilot, you're just watching the time go by, so. Nice little valley over here. It's cool. Winds are getting a bit stronger. And then I assume once we're around, I don't know, 20, 30 miles away, they're probably gonna give us a call. And let us know where we're going. Sun speed's at 6,000. Yeah, and that's pretty accurate actually, because I'm looking at my iPad now and it's showing is it any better at 4,000? I mean, it's a bit of a tailwind, so I think, can we request a little bit of a decrease to 2,000 feet?
Boston Center, Cessna Tree 1 Hotel. Request 4,000 feet.
Because then I can get into a tailwind instead of a straight crosswind. Okay, so we're gonna go down to 4,000, our altitude here. And to do that, we're gonna go into vertical speed mode
Maintain 4,000 feet, Cessna Tree 1
and decrease the vertical speed. We'll go down by 800 feet per minute. Should pick up some speed. And we should see this arrow rotate a little bit up to help kind of push us along a bit, hopefully. Wow, there's somebody like right above us. Or above us or below us? Oh yeah, look, he's right there. 1,000 feet. 11,000 feet. Interesting. So, alright, so we're going down about, trying to get to 850 feet per minute. I don't want to overspeed here, so we're going to drop back our torque and RPMs just a little bit. And it is actually, you can see it's actually shifting just a little bit towards to become a tailwind instead of a headwind. Yeah, I'm going as fast as I can, you know, easy. Hopefully this gives us a little bit of a speed bump. I don't know what that looks like closer to the airport, but at least from us, my perspective, it's going to get us a little bit of a tailwind. So 4,800 feet now. We're not too close to the mountains, and what are we at for altitude for KSYR Syracuse? It's at 421 feet, so that's not too bad, but keep that in mind. 0 is not sea level, so 400 is going to be our 0. Yeah, now you can see this arrow has shifted from straight on the side to more from behind us as a tailwind, so that's actually going to boost our ground speed significantly. So we're at 153-ish airspeed, and now 180 for the ground speed, so giving us a significant little speed boost here. We're almost at our 4,000 feet mark. And we are going to slow down a bit because now we're no longer descending, but and it should get us hopefully underneath a lot of these clouds. Yeah, there we go. So pretty much wrapping up the descent now. 140-ish airspeed, 147 true airspeed. That's the speed of the air flying over the wings. But it's putting us at about 165 knots. I'm gonna push up our prop and our throttle here back to about 1750. Back to our cruise settings here. A little too much on the torque. A little bit more on the propeller here. Kind of have to just do it kind of slow, because when you adjust the torque, sometimes it also speeds up or slows down the prop RPMs just a little bit. But that should get us much faster, which is nice. So 1752 for our prop RPM is perfect. I'm going to bump up our torque. You move this thing just a tiny bit and it jumps. There we go. So 1730s, 1750 torque, perfect. Now that puts us at about 175 knots ground speed, which is awesome. Should get us there much faster, so we're not fighting that headwind now. But the cloud cover is definitely getting a little bit stronger as we're coming up closer. What we're going to do is just bump up acceleration just a little bit again. Get us through this last bit of this flight. Yeah, 175 knots ground speed now. Beautiful. Definitely getting a lot of cloud cover. I think this plane actually has a radar built in, which is nice. So if I go to display, yeah, so this is showing in front of us. So about 2.5 nautical miles away, we got real heavy weather radar, and I can actually see that it's the dark clouds there. It's going into the medium scale. Go back. Go vertical. So it's what, 60,000 feet. So I'm still underneath most of it now. So, but it's about 2.5 nautical miles out. Doesn't seem right. So we'll keep watching it and kind of see. Scale's 5. Topographic. Ooh, next red. What does that look like? That's fun. Ooh, that's useful. Okay. So there is our weather here. So we're in the green now. Oh, just got a big gust there. But we're coming into some orange, which is what we saw on the weather forecast, so nothing surprising. We're about 60 nautical miles out. About 20 minutes of flight time, but it's actually about 10 minutes of real time because we're at 2 times speed right now. So, and once we get instructions for final, we'll probably select our approach and take it in real time. Glad we chose go down to 4,000 feet. 5,000 is more like direct. Yeah, 8,000 starts shifting as you're going up altitudes. I'm just kind of looking at different various altitudes here, and yeah, as you go up, it's just kind of shifting till it's a headwind. 4,000, yeah, we're about 40, 45 knots, it says. At least according to the weather forecast. We're about 30, so it's not too far off. It was getting real gross looking though. Like I said, we're just gonna wait till we get our call from tower for how we're gonna approach. Going through some clouds here. We're like just at the bottom of them. Oh yeah, we're in the crap now, so that's how you can just, that's nice actually. So okay, cool. So you can adjust the zoom of this. Did not know that. How about the vertical? Can you adjust that? You sure can. Cool. So that's above us. That's a lot of crap. Half a mile out, but still good for now. It's mostly light, so I think we'll be okay. Oof, big gust there. So we're about 40 nautical out. This is where I would expect to start potentially getting some instructions for where we're going. But we'll give it another couple minutes. Keep our weather up on this screen. Still all green for now. Might see some rain. Looks like we're dodging through a lot of it, but we're underneath a lot of it at least. Just so we're not fighting those strong headwinds. Good here. $11 minutes left, it looks like. So we're at the Syracuse VOR. I haven't gotten instructions for an ILS yet, so again, we'll hold off before we put the procedures in to see. Hopefully it gives it to him before before it has to like turn around. I hate that it tries to like quickly turn around and move stuff. I think actually you can see it up ahead to our right. I believe that is Syracuse right here. You can see we're going direct to that, but because of the crab angle, we're actually looking this way, but it's actually over there because of the wind. Very interesting. Very flat in Syracuse, New York. Not a lot going on. That's us. Alright, so we're gonna contact the approach for Syracuse, and they're probably going to give us our vectors for our landing. Syracuse contacts. See what they tell us to go here. Nothing special. Two 2975. So way lower than I thought. Cool. Alright. Oh, we got a little wind farm down there. That's nifty. Surprised they showed that in game. That's really cool. It's not us. Still 23 miles out, so it's about 8 minutes of flight time. We're low enough where if they give us an approach, I think we should still be fine. But to be honest, the conditions are fine for VFR as well. So I think I could hand fly it in if we needed to. So. Again, just kind of keep going like we were going. We'll wait till they tell us otherwise. So. See some other players around here. Steamboat Villy, that's fun. Also, this isn't cheese. It's fun. Autopilot take us in. We're looks like what 10 miles away now, so or not 20 miles away, really. But that's because we're overpassing. We're overshooting the airport to go to the VOR stations. A little bit past it, but. Very glad that the autopilot hasn't tried to kill me today so far. We'll see on final if that remains true, but what does Syracuse have for arrivals? I believe it did have some procedures, so we're looking for runway like what, 29 or 3 maybe? It's an ILS runway 28. That we've already passed the first fix of Stoda. Where's Stoda? We would have to turn like right now to get the fix of Stoda for that. It's 2.8. We might be able to go 3.3. Is it an ILS 3.3? No, it's just RNAV. Maybe that's what they're gonna do. RNAV runway 3.3. Even that, I don't know what fix they're giving us. I guess we'll see. Are we now 14 nautical out? Not close, but not far. It's about 4 minutes to our waypoint. This is what happens sometimes, though, because then all of a sudden it's going to tell me, oh, you know, drop down to 1,200 feet. Okay, great, thanks. They also might just say go fly in for a visual, because again, there is cloud cover above, but we have plenty of visibility for miles, it looks like, so. Oh, I see. I finally saw why it was choppy. So my encoder is overloaded, probably because we're trying to run flight sim at, super ultra wide, and it's using, yeah, OBS is struggling to do it. So good to know for next time. So I assume we're gonna overshoot and then come back in for runway 15 or 10. I don't actually know. We're gonna give Tower a chance here to tell us what to do. Ten nautical from there. Looks like somebody's down in the airstrip right now, actually. Cool. Looks like they're taxiing down the runway. It's fun. Well, okay. I'm pretty dang close to that. I'm literally flying above the airstrip now. So we probably could have just flew right in, to be honest. I think that's runway 33 or 28. It's runway 28 we're just passing over now. But we'll let it keep going. But because we're going to the Syracuse waypoint first, maybe that's the problem. Seven nautical miles out. That's us. Oh, I did not actually. Oh, 3,000 feet. Okay. Go down to 3,000. And again, I typically do that with vertical speed mode on for descents. And we're going to go down to, I like to do about 800 feet per minute. It's pretty comfortable. And there's our airport on the left here. K Syracuse. Our KSYR. Sierra Yankee Romeo. Somebody I believe is on the runway right now. Yep. What's he doing? November 6658 Kilo is on the runway. Interesting. So dropping down to 3,000 feet as requested. I'm going to go back to our regular display here and zoom us out. It's going to have us flip around here. I'm going as fast as I can. I got 300 feet to go. We got another guy coming in here. He's about 6. Wow, he's right next to us. So you can see him. Looks like he's coming in for a landing below us. What's he look like? Yeah, he's lined up pretty good. Hello. Yep. RNAV via pager transition. Okay, so let's see if we can get this freaking thing to work. So RNAV 15 approach via pager. I guess we're gonna load this. Let's hope. I don't know what that looks like. It's gonna flip me around here. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit my route on my iPad. And we're going to go to Syracuse. Edit procedures. Arrivals. Approaches, rather. RNAV 15 via the pager transition. So I'm just going to show you up on my iPad here. I just kind of got that up. So what they're going to do is I now have to take a wide right turn to come up to a pager waypoint, which is there. And it's going to have us turn around into Elice, down into runway 15. Seems kind of silly. I wish they would have told me that before, because I could have just got myself aligned right to pager to begin with, but that's fine. So with this, we don't need to set anything in our nav radio. All I need to worry about is, so for the pager, I don't have a specific altitude. For the Elise waypoints, which is that one right there, you can see on this arrow coming down, I need to be at 3,000 feet and along heading 225. And you can see here where the Elise is, I have to be above 3,000 feet. If I'm below that, I might not be able to pick up things appropriately. And then from the Elise waypoint down to the Nadsy waypoint, by the time I get to the Nadsy waypoint, I should be, it's about 6 miles, I need to be at 2,300 feet. I'd have to do the calculation out to see, but I might just guess and check. It's not too bad, actually. And then that's going to bring us on the 1.5. Looks like, where am I going? Okay, so it's going to cut me across, essentially. I can't really mark it. Does it let me mark this? Oh, it does. Perfect. So it looks like it's going to send me here, and then to go up to pager that way. At least that's what it appears that the GPS is doing right now, which is fine. I'm going to burn some extra fuel, but we'll be okay. We'll wait to give them, wait to see further instructions, but that appears to be what it's doing right now. So once we get to pager, we can keep going there. I'm trying to just look if there's anything else I need to see on this approach plate. It doesn't appear to. Gives us our tower. Yeah, it's all fine. So I'm going to hide that. And it looks pretty accurate, because if you look here, this is about the line I just drew. It's going to send us up. If I zoom out into pager to go all the way back down around to the runway 15. And that's fine. Keep us all lined up. And there's our turn in here. There's our, I believe, our runway down there. Someone's just taking off from Syracuse now. What I could have done is kind of seen if I could ask for a specific approach ahead of time. That way I could have got myself aligned up with pager ahead of time instead of, at the last second, but it's fine. We're still at a regular fuel burn rate. And to pager looks to be about 9.5 nautical, so I probably added like a good 15 minutes to our flight, 15-20 minutes to our flight because of that.
I just ordered like some sweatshirts and yoga.
Wait. I can't hear you.
Mic feedback off. Mic off. Mic
Tell me the
feedback
flaps.
on. Mic on.
What? What?
Your mic was hot.
What?
Flaps.
Where are we? So we have 0.7 nautical for pager. Then we're going to Elise. And at Elise we need to be at above 3,000. We're at 3,000 now, so that should be fine. Now what I don't know, and hopefully somebody can answer for me, is do you need to put, for an RNAV approach, does it need to be in approach mode to do your glide slope? I don't actually know. So but we should be good at this heading this altitude. We're going to contact Syracuse approach. Hopefully it gives us the same RNAV approach now that it glitched out on us. Perfect. We're going to go to 6-7. So we're kind of right in the shit now. I think it's above us though. If we go to display and GPS, nope, weather, vertical, yeah, it's a little bit above us. Probably burned a lot of extra fuel because this little thing I made us wrap all the way around, but that's fine. And now we're coming on to about a 46 knot, almost 50 knot headwind. So we're going 150 airspeed, but we're only going 115 ground speed, so we're significantly slowed down. Whoa. Did he bite you?
You're playing.
Oh. Accumulate 50 hours. Flying. I have flew 50 hours.
Oh my god.
That's a long time. Achievements. Alright, where are we at? 8 nautical from Elise. And I can just show you that on the iPad here. I didn't quite follow the line that I drew, but pretty close. So I ended up going all the way around. So we're going to come in on the little red plane into the Elise waypoint. Follow it down at 2,300 feet into runway 15, which is that one there. And that's going to give us pretty good headwind there, so hopefully it should be a nice easy landing, but we shall see. Where is Syracuse actually? So it's going to be to my left. So is that it there? Way down there? Yeah, it might actually be. I believe it is. Next to Steamboat Billy. That's the name.
Steamboat Billy.
Billy.
Gosh. Billy.
What's that?
Billy.
Billy. I had to clean my desk today in this office. And probably do laundry.
Okay. Sounds fun. You enjoy that.
Huh?
Enjoy that.
Can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. Kind of looks like it's in widescreen. This looks like a bar. I wish my vision wasn't bad so I could read the screens. Can you read those? Not from there, but like,
What am I looking at? What am I trying to read?
like where it so it, I think it says distance DIS, whatever that white. Can you read what that is?
No.
If you, I guess if you look close.
Blurry though.
And now you can distance 3.4. But like I don't like to sit this close. It feels like
Mm.
Like I like the view of this on the ultra wide, but
Mm.
I can't read any of the screens.
Yeah.
I guess I could do. I think this supports. Yeah, sort of. Does it have my
You have to get a second iPad just get a zoom in version of it.
What? These are noise canceling.
Clearly. I said you should get a second iPad just to show like that.
Hmm. Maybe I will.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, you need. Actually, I think. Oh. Oh my god. It's reading each one of these letters
No.
alphanumerically.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Alright, so.
Tower on 127.
Sierra, Yankee, Romeo, Alpha, Sierra. Uniform. God. Alright. When does inbound count? I think that counts now. Tune in the tower. Contact in the tower. Alright.
News tower Cessna
13 miles.
Hotel 13 miles northwest inbound RNAV runway 15 approach.
Cessna November 4831 Hotel Syracuse Tower. Cleared RNAV runway 15 approach. Altimeter 29er decimal 6 flight with 167 at 30.
Alright, so we are cleared for the runway 15 approach. 2965. It's gonna be here.
Cleared RNAV runway 15 approach Cessna Tree 1 Hotel.
$10
What?
to have the screen on it.
That costs money?
Yeah. Okay,
there's
so that is fine. Alright, so our next. This is where it starts. Everything starts happening real quick. Close this. Tracking. I'm in external. X-plane. Maps. So coming in there. Go into procedures. With the RNAV 15 approach. There it is there. So at the NADZ we need to be at 2300. Is that going to put us... If I go in approach mode now, I don't think it gives us vertical glide slope. It doesn't. So if I pitch down, turn off nav, and we're going to turn off altitude. And turn off autopilot. Alright, we're going to pitch down. Slow down our props and RPMs here. And we're 2.6 miles from NADZ, and we need to be at or above 2,300 feet. Actually, what we could do is I can put nav mode back on, autopilot back on, set it to 2,300 feet, vertical speed mode, and decrease the vertical speed down here. 2,300 feet, perfect. Might have to go down a little bit faster than that. 1,000 feet per minute. Cut the throttle and the prop RPM. Looks pretty good. I can see the PAPI lights are still on the glide slope now. 0.7 nautical. We're gonna be should be sitting right there. And then from NADZ waypoint, we're about 1.3 nautical miles to runway 15. Alright, so we're right on the glide slope now. I think I can put it in approach mode. That appears to be working. Alright, and I'm going to slow down. Prop up a bit. where we're going to put our throttle to pretty much idle. It should guide us for the most part in, and I'm going to let it guide us in until, perfect. We are cleared to land runway 5, 15.
Runway 15 Cessna 31 Hotel.
I think we're still on the glide slope, but it's hard to tell. I'm gonna put down my first thing of flaps.
Flaps.
Yep, flaps.
Flaps time.
Okay, let's see if it lines us back up. Yep, perfect. And we're gonna put our prop RPM back up. So let's see, is this going anywhere? Back to the map. Zoom back in here. Go up on our speed just a little bit. We're going a little bit slower than I would like. We should be able to land nice and easy though, because we're only going with this headwind about 60 ground speed, 69 knots ground speed. It appears the RNAV approach is working well. It's keeping us on our glide slope. You can see that it's actually having to align us a little bit to the right of the runway because of the headwinds, but so far so good. We captured it. I didn't know that RNAVs give vertical give you vertical information. What does it say? Nothing really. RNAV GPS runway 15. Usually I thought it just gave left and right. But looking at our airstrip here, 2 whites, 2 reds mean that we're on the glide slope. If we had all whites, we're too high. All reds were too low. Mixture of both. You know, more red than white, too low. More than white than red, too high. Half and half, perfect. So going a little bit fast here. Slow us down just a little bit. And then when we'll say
160 at 18 knots.
okay, 160 at 18 knots, perfect. So it slowed down significantly since we got a little bit lower. And we're about 1 nautical mile out. We're gonna cut the autopilot here and fly it manually. So the airstrip, remember, is at 400 feet. So it looks like we're going a little bit too low for my liking right now. We're going to go back to another layer of flaps here. Kind of a little too high, but should stop us from stalling. Bring us down just a little bit. Good, looking good. There's our glide slope there. I'm like right at the cusp of it here. A little too fast. Slow us down. There's our glide slope again. I aim to hit the boxes, but kind of float a little bit down. Cut the power here. And this is where you flare up just a little bit. And
Landing time log.
touchdown there.
Landed at Kilo Sierra Yankee Romeo. Syracuse
pull off
Ad
here.
Hoc INTL.
Already did it. And we'll stop at the crossbars here. Parking brake. What?
Call for a taxi.
What?
Wave down a taxi.
Wait, taxi, please. We need a taxi. No, we're taxi. Taxi lights are on. We're gonna contact ground. Yes, I copied. Stop yelling at me. Alright, see where we want us to park. Taxi to parking since we're just dropping off organs. And what we're going to do here. Alright, so we're going to general aviation via taxiway EA. So general aviation is over here to the right. So we need to go EA, which doesn't look like it matches up to actual taxiways. So we'll go down B, down A, cross runway 10, and go that way. And the map should help us with that. So if we go park and brake off, essentially continue straight down. We're going to take a right taxi, not this one, but the next one. Just put the prop down to feather here. We're going to bring our flaps up, so you don't need them on the ground. And this is what I use to help kind of guide me in my taxis, because otherwise the taxiway instructions built into Microsoft Flight Sim don't always match up with the real world, because it seems like very rarely do the taxiway numbers line up, or letters. Hi. Going a little fast. So I use the FLT Plan Go app to kind of track me, and then I can figure out where I'm going. So we're going to go down here. It's not this one, but our next right should be Taxiway Alpha. Sure. That looks clear that way. Looks clear that way. Slow down just a little bit. And I think it's down this road here. Yes, because that should be taxiway E. This is taxiway A. And our next left is, nope, not our next left. Is W, so that should be taxiway W, which, again, I don't think lines up. Yeah, that says that's taxiway A. That's where we're on now. But we should be taking this one, crossing the runway there, to get to general aviation parking. So that's our left here. Don't need our nav lights or our strobe lights on. Well, actually we will, because we're going to be crossing a runway here. Slow right down. Took my head up here. Crossing a taxiway, crossing a runway. Looks clear to my left. Looks clear to my right. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight across here. And this right here is actually where general aviation parking is, which looks to be accurate because I see a couple of small planes here, which is perfect. What I don't see, however, is our little dude that helps us park and stuff. So it's probably not going to count as a completed flight in Microsoft Flight Sim, but that's okay. That's very hit or miss. So we're going to pull up at this nice TBM. So it's down here. This thing does not like to turn until like you're doing 0 speed. Beautiful. Engage the parking brake. We turn off our strobes, taxi lights and landing lights. Everything looks good. There's no guy here to help us, so that's fine. We're not going to kill anybody. Keep the beacon on until the engines are shut off.
Engine
Shut
off,
off the
time
engine.
locked. End of flight. Registered
Avionics
in
2
OnAir company.
off. And fuel boost, we're going to set off. And then finally battery off. Oh. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Then fuel shut off. All those are down. Avionics 1 is off. Master alternator's off. That's off. Beacon's off. Good to go. Done. Hi. Thanks. Thanks. I have a crowd here. Wow, thanks. I didn't even see your text.